There's a strange paradox. The loneliest people in the world aren't the ones who live alone. They're the ones who can't spend even 10 minutes alone with themselves. They need their phone. They need music. They need social media. They need someone to text. Or simply, they need something to keep their mind occupied. Because the moment everything becomes quiet, they begin to hear the voice inside their own head. Most people believe successful people enjoy being alone because they're introverts, or because they don't like being around others. But the truth is completely different. They don't love loneliness. They love peace. And those are two very different things. If you understand why, you'll realize that many of the struggles in your life began the moment you lost the ability to be alone with yourself. People aren't truly afraid of being alone. What we're really afraid of is facing ourselves. When the music stops, when the videos end, when the notifications disappear, when the conversations fall silent, there's only one thing left: your own thoughts. Some people immediately begin worrying about the future. Others replay mistakes from the past. Some criticize themselves. Others imagine disasters that haven't even happened. So they reach for their phone, open another video, scroll through another feed, not because they want entertainment, but because they're trying to escape. The sad part is, the longer we keep escaping, the less capable we become of sitting with ourselves. And once that happens, the outside world begins controlling the world inside us. Your brain doesn't like silence. It craves stimulation. Every notification, every short video, every like, every message releases a small hit of dopamine. Over time, your brain starts believing something dangerous. Feeling good becomes more important than understanding yourself. So whenever you feel anxious, uncertain, or uncomfortable, your first instinct is to fill the empty space. But that emptiness never really disappears. It only gets covered up for a little while. What's even more dangerous is this. When you constantly depend on noise from the outside, you slowly forget how to listen to the voice within. And that's where people begin to lose themselves. Let's look back at the journey we've taken together. When you overthink, you're searching for certainty that life can never promise. When you procrastinate, you're allowing your emotions to decide your actions. When you wait for motivation, you hand control of your life over to temporary feelings. When you lack discipline, your brain will always choose the easier path. When you can't stay consistent, every change becomes temporary. When dopamine controls your attention, you spend your life chasing quick rewards. When you depend on validation, your worth is placed in someone else's hands. When you believe every thought your mind creates, your own brain becomes your greatest liar. And when life becomes difficult, without inner strength, you'll always run back to comfort. At first, these seem like 9 completely different problems. But they're not. They're simply different expressions of the same root cause. You haven't learned to master your inner world. And because of that, you keep depending on the outside world to fill the emptiness within. That's why so many people can't be alone. Not because they're lonely, but because they haven't found peace with themselves. Learning to be alone doesn't mean isolating yourself from the world. It means you no longer depend on the world to tell you that you matter. Start with something small. Every day, set aside just 10 minutes. No phone, no music, no videos. Do nothing. Just sit quietly. Watch your thoughts come and go. Don't fight them. Don't chase them away. Simply observe them, like clouds drifting across the sky. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. You'll want to reach for your phone. You'll want to distract yourself. But that moment is exactly where the real training begins. Because you're practicing the most important skill of all. The ability To stop letting your emotions control your actions. And little by little, you'll discover that peace doesn't come from living in a quiet world. It comes from creating a quiet mind. Maybe, after everything we've explored together, you've started to realize something. The greatest battle you'll ever fight was never against other people. It has always been against your own mind. When you stop overthinking, you regain clarity. When you stop procrastinating, you regain action. When you stop depending on motivation, you build discipline. When you take back control of your dopamine, you reclaim your focus. When you stop living for other people's approval, you rediscover yourself. When you stop believing every thought your mind creates, you finally find peace. And when your mind becomes strong enough, you no longer fear being alone. Because at that point, being alone is no longer loneliness. Being alone becomes freedom. Successful people aren't stronger than you. They're not smarter than you. And they weren't born with a different brain. The only real difference is that they no longer allow the world to decide what they should think, what they should feel, or who they should become. They've learned to master the world within. And that is what real success looks like. If there's one thing I hope you remember after this journey, it's this. One day, the world will stop applauding you. Some relationships will end. You'll fail at something that truly matters. And there will be moments when you'll have to walk through life in complete silence. When that day comes, the only person who will still be there is the person living inside you. So don't spend your life building a version of yourself that everyone else admires. Spend it building someone that you can live with. Because the person you'll spend the rest of your life with has always been you.